It's a dawning of a new day. This is one of my favorite times of the day. Actually, I sit out here a lot when it's dark before the sun comes out. Franco's out here with me once the ball kicked, so I'll amuse him for a little bit. So I'm going up soon to let the chickens out, and I'm going to tell you a little about my rooster killing experience. I told you I was going to film it, and I did. I haven't watched the film yet. So this is really more about my experience, what has come up, and what that has taught me, and the gift that it was to me personally. Although painful, there's a gift in there. Yesterday was my birthday, so now I'm reaping the gift. I slaughtered my roosters, 4 of them. I had planned on 5. One escaped, and so he has a reprieve. I may show you footage of that. I'm a little haunted by the experience. The part I thought that would be hard was the plucking. That was very easy. The killing wasn't necessarily difficult, but I did not administer it with any proficiency, I'll say that. So there was suffering and unneeded, which I didn't want. But rather, doesn't matter what my intentions were, the result was there was suffering. And that haunts me. The gutting was really hard too, but that doesn't haunt me. It's the look in the bird's eye, having looked him in the face. And yesterday was my birthday, so I killed them the day before because it looked like, everything is kind of lined up, and it was the perfect day. I'm not saying it wasn't. Let me give you a little background on me. My spiritual connection is Buddhist, sort of an American Buddhist rendition. And I studied for many, many years as a Buddhist and went to a Buddhist-inspired university, and that's how I ended up in Boulder, Colorado. That was the heart of this organization of meditation centers. I was a meditation student, then a teacher, and I resisted Buddhism, but eventually, saw the truth of it for me and converted. In a nutshell, the Buddha's first teachings were what's known as the Four Noble Truths. And the truth is that all beings suffer. You are trapped in a cycle of birth, death, and rebirth over and over again. It's never going to stop unless you act upon it. And you're the only one that can do that. You're the only one that can get yourself out of your own suffering. So the truth of that they're suffering. The second noble truth is that I don't remember them all. But everything is subject to birth, a span of life, and illness, and then death. And there's nothing you can do about that. But the point after death to the next rebirth is where the Buddhist teachings come in, and where they fulfill the last of the Buddhist Four Noble Truths, is that there's a way out of this dilemma that we found ourselves in. And I studied karma, and I studied death, all those teachings in depth. I would say in depth, no expert or master or anything, but I have more than a elementary knowledge of the teachings themselves. So this, what I would, you might call PTSD about killing these roosters and the way in which it happened and the karmic debt that I have because I brought them into the world and now I've ended that suffering, but not in a non-suffering way. You know what I mean? Um, it was a little haunting yesterday. This morning, though, and I've been having little flashbacks to conversations I've had and teachers I've had. And the hardest part of any spiritual instruction is remembering the instruction when you need it. For Buddhism, all the instruction is about how to handle yourself in the moment of death. So there's a lot of death talk, and Americans don't like to talk about death. So, the first instruction is look. You have to look. You have to remember. Remember what you were taught. And the first thing you're taught is you have to look at it. You can't avoid it. So I was looking at all these little mental farts coming up. And, there is a connection. And that connection is remembering that death comes without warning. And someday I will be a corpse. That it doesn't make life more precious, but it makes it somewhat more meaningful. Just to remember, I'm getting old, that I will die, and how I handle myself, whether I remember the instructions or not, depends upon how I handle myself from now until death. And I didn't handle myself well in the presence of another being's death. Because in the midst of everything, you forget the instructions. Again, it comes back to you have to remember the instructions. And the way you do that is you practice with every little thing that happens in your life, such as killing a chicken. Oh, I remember now. Life is not permanent. There will be an end. There's always a beginning, a middle, and an end to everything. And my life will be the same. And so I say that's a gift. The gift to be reminded and to live with that memory rather than trying to shut it down, ignore it, cover it. The things we would naturally do. And that's, again, I'm not pushing Buddhism, but one of the other things one learns is that all the instructions are counterintuitive. If you want to turn away, the way you break the cycle of whatever's going on with you is you have to turn toward it and look. And then you have to feel it. You have to have some regret. And that's how you burn off karma. And so that's sort of, from an intellectual point of view, I can see that there's been some of that going on. And I don't regret doing it. They're going to make good stew. But I regret the way in which it was handled, and maybe my overconfidence that I could do it led me to not do it well. And there's a lot, there's a good lesson in that. Arrogance, ignorance, and passion are the three things they say keep us in this cycle. The deed is done, and 3 are in the freezer, and 1 is in the pot. Made a big pot of broth yesterday, and less likely to waste it. If you go to the store and you buy a chicken and whatever, and it goes bad, you may feel bad about that, but not deeply. I don't want any part of these birds to go to waste. any more than it already has. So I want them to be used and eaten and respected. This is one of Dora's babies. Yeah. He looks like Rooster. He's like a mini Rooster. So let's see how this goes better. He's smaller than Bob was. Yeah. Got the scalpel. So here's his jaw. My hands are twitching. Oh, fuck.